Good day everyone and welcome. This is my Australian made 1961 Volkswagen Beetle, or Bug if you like, wherever you live. So this Beetle was made in Melbourne, Australia in the early 1961, and it's got this lovely turquoise color, L390 to be exact. That's the paint code. So it's a relatively rare color, I'd say, amongst the pearl whites, the beryl greens, Gulf blues, and reds, and Bahama beige. So I like this color. Yeah, there are they are around, but not as many. So in Australia, the 1961 model is a one-year model, and the main reason is this 50-50 tail light. So this piece of glass or plastic, it's got 50% amber and 50% red in it, and that's in 1961, where the around the world, the Beatles had the good old one-piece snowflake tail lights, or later on the 1/3 and 2/3 larger tail lights. And interestingly, one more country had this in 1961 only, and that was Italy. Go figure. I understand that Australia is far from everything, and they made this unique feature, but what about Italy? Why they did have these tail lights? I don't know. So this car, I've got a bit of a history of it, not from the very beginning though. Obviously somebody bought it new in Melbourne, and then how many owners after that I'm not exactly sure, but I can go back until the early 90s, and I was told of this. This car was restored in Melbourne in the early 90s, and then put into a showroom in the city in Melbourne, a place called Hamilton's Prestige Cars. So this car was sitting pretty amongst Rolls-Royces, Jaguars, Mercedes, and all these sort of cars. And one day this gentleman saw this in the window display, and it looked so pretty, he bought it right there and then as a present to his wife. So I don't know if it was a birthday present or just a spur of the moment, but bought it for his wife. Now, a little bit forward, after 10 years time, the lady probably got bored and wanted a better car, and they sold it. And this lady bought it for his son. So this was his son's first car, and even learned to drive on this vehicle. I can still see the shade of the P plate, the L plate and the P plate in the window there. And forward a few more years, and the young man obviously needed a different car, sort of a chick magnet type Japanese car with air conditioning and airbags and stuff like that. So I dealt with the lady, and I bought it in 2009, so about 11 years ago, and it's running sweet still. although it's sitting a lot because it's part of my collection. So in the meantime I show it underneath. It's pretty good rust wise. So I bought it in 2009 and I've got it since, and I service it regularly, drive it around regularly, keep up the fresh petrol every now and then. What I'm doing is pouring in about 2-3 liters every 2-3 weeks or a month time, and then turn it over so the petrol won't get stale. So yes, try to keep it in good condition and spray it with oil underneath and the wheel arches and the boot inside, what have you. So it's still got the original bumper bars. It's a little bit starting to age, but who cares, it's part of the patina. And this Wolfsburg badge came originally with this car, of course, and that was stopped I think in 1963, and it was black color from 58 to 63. The previous models in the 50s had a green background, so it was more colorful. And I believe it's got the original headlights. This one's a Bosch one, not sure if you can read it. And one more interesting, of course it's got the right peanut shape indicators, and it's got the 4-tab Volkswagen logo on the bonnet. So I believe this bonnet, this shape bonnet, was used even for the oval windows back then, and this is sort of a leftover part, the factory head, and they used up whatever they can. So yeah, so I've got the car for 9 years, but I'm not too sure how many more owners were there, especially after the first registered owner and the owner I met. So I'm just guessing 4 or 5 owners, including myself. So yeah, what do you think? And what I'll do is I'll talk about the engine, original engine of course, a little bit later on, but first we'll have a look inside. What's the car like inside? So it's a little bit faded and dirty. Even the seats are this leatherette, the stitches gave way, and but the roof line is beautiful. It's been redone. This is not the original material, I don't think, so it's been done in the early 90s again. Everything else seems to be original. The white steering wheel, which I really like, with the horn ring, half a ring, and according to the order, it's done 81,850 miles. So this could be the one, or even, I don't know, could put a 1 in front of, so 181,850. Got the working petrol gauge, beautiful. And while we're there, this car even have the flip over petrol switch, so you can use as a reserve like in the 50s. So this must be a sort of a crossover model. This is the headlight button, and of course the color matching white knob gear shift, I've got here the heater knob as well. The radio, I don't think it's original. I think it's been put in either in the 60s or 70s maybe. Beautifully working glove box lid and a good looking glove box liner. So and the handle, original hardware on the doors, both sides. The pocket a little bit used now, probably it was always full of books and receipts and stuff. As I said, the mirror and the sun visors are original. And I've got a couple of books go with it. Since I've got it, I made up this little logbook, and I'm just keeping the repairs and services have been done since I've got it. And that's just a new bore repairs. Must be a tire people done some work on the tires. But this book, I'm not sure if you saw one of these before, labor charges on Volkswagens, and that's really the original book from 1961, and even states the engine number and the chassis number. So have a look at this. I've gone through and it's amazing, because every job they can do on this car, they write down what it is and how much it'll cost. Sort of fixed price. Says replace brake shoes of all wheels, complete with linings, including remove and install brake drums and adjust brakes. And have a look at this. The exact price is £4 and 16 shillings. So they had the confidence to print this out and keep it for years, knowing that the prices will not change. So imagine that. What a difference in life back then and today. For example, remove and install handbrake lever, including disconnect push bar and brake cables. And the price was £1, 3 shillings. Amazing. And I could go through on all this, but I don't want to waste your time. But this is a very historic and very interesting little book. And I've got this instruction manual, and it's amazing because it's dated August 1960, which is the beginning of the 61 model year. So this car is the very first few cars of that 61 model. It's even have the ignition key number originally. So this is original to the car, and yeah, you can get some knowledge out of this, like how to change your engine oil, how to replace the filter and refill the oil, 2.5 liters of course in this little 1200 engine. And yeah, the speedo, and then the jack, steering wheel. Even the convertibles had to open the roof on the convertibles, or the sunroof, if you were lucky enough to have those models. Had to work the switches, refill the windscreen washer, put the rear seat backrest down flat. Ah, that's a good one. Had to operate the ashtray. So these things were unique back then. I mean, they were standard back then, and they are unique today. Even a bit of a cutaway picture of the Volkswagen, the left-hand side elevation. So you can go through all this, and it's an enjoying reading. I enjoy it anyway. So that's the ashtray. Had to operate. Pull it out, push it in. How about that? Okay, so that's the inside of the Volkswagen, and everything works, including the horn, but when the engine runs only. I've got a few extra service stickers here, just to remind me things, and part of the history of the car. So now I show you the boot, and after that I'll show you the engine. So first of all, I open them up. Just put you down here for a second. Okay, so have a look at the boot first. Go to the front. So this one, the old style, still coming with this hinge there, which I don't like to use because it's coarse, this lips here. And I'm using this bar here instead, so secure the lid. I've got the original spare tire, spare wheel I mean, tire obviously not original, and the liner is a little bit broken. It's been torn up a little bit. Somebody used it rough. And if I take the spare tire out, we have a look at the spare tire wheel well. Which is a little bit dirty, but there's no rust. Got the original jack, and that's the windscreen washer, what you saw in the book. That's the brakes fluid. So everything looks in good shape. I like it. And it's made in Melbourne, Australia, and the numbers are matching, all original. So I just put the spare tire back in and then have a look at the engine. Shots perfectly, never involved in an accident as I looked it over, and underneath there's no crease in the body shape, nothing. I want to show you one more thing before the engine, how the floor pan looks like, because that's a very important thing. Not only the floor pan, but have a look. It's nice and dry, and it's been repainted. Also the bottom of the A-pillar and the heater channel looks magnificent. There's no No rust there. Hi there.
How are you?
Give us a couple of minutes, I'm finished filming this. Alright? So this is the 1200cc 40 horsepower air-cooled engine, which is original according to the numbers. Obviously have been serviced regularly. I'm not sure if this had been reconditioned, but I can imagine when the car was redone they went through the engine and the mechanicals as well. So yeah, and there's no car review without starting the engine, so that's what I'm gonna do now. And one more thing, it's been converted to 12 volts just to give us a little bit more, a little bit extra electrical power. So let's see how it starts. Okay, make sure I put it in neutral. We don't want to get into trouble. Well, it wasn't a cold start because I moved it outside, rolled it out of the garage, but starts every time and beautifully. So here it is. Runs smooth, runs even, no worries there. There are a couple of drops of oil underneath in the garage floor, but I wouldn't worry about that too much. So what do you reckon? Sounds good, doesn't it? I love it. So that's it, folks. My 1961 Australian made Volkswagen Beetle. If you got any questions, write a note, let me know, and if you liked it, please like or subscribe. I'll be happy with that. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much, and I hope you see you again.